There is a cruel and extreme reality. Our time right now is materially much better than our parents' time. We have smartphones, endless social networks, the ability to dine out weekly, grab fancy coffee every weekend, and take 2 or 3 trips a year to heal ourselves. But there is one thing where we are infinitely more miserable than our parents' generation. The opportunity to own property. The opportunity to own property is shrinking rapidly in our time. Our parents could work hard and save diligently for 10, 15, or even 20 years to build a house or buy land. But in our time, even if we work all our lives, we might not be able to afford a simple apartment. There are three subtle, devastating layers of chains that are locking us into this modern slavery. The first layer is consumerism. It is the force that compels us to throw away what little capital we have, not because we genuinely need a new item, but because we want it. We don't spend money to survive. We spend it to avoid the paralyzing feeling of being left behind. The second layer is debt. After throwing away our savings, we inevitably turn to borrowing. We then spend the rest of our paycheck simply servicing the interest and the principal debt. We go to work every month just to pay rent, car notes, phone bills, Netflix, Spotify, and endless subscription services. The third layer is inflation. If the first two layers lock most people who don't know how to save, inflation is the weapon that destroys those who still manage to accumulate cash. If you only know how to work hard and save your money in a bank, inflation ensures that your saved capital loses purchasing power every single year. Welcome to Krama Chronicles, where we dissect the sophisticated control systems. Operating beneath the mask of prosperity, we are living in an era where freedom is regarded as the ultimate truth. You have the right to choose a job, to travel, to promote your career, at least on paper. But in reality, most modern people are simply wage slaves who don't even need saving accounts. We are not being forced by whips or physical violence, but by a soft, sophisticated system where paper debt, credit cards, and material aspirations have replaced the old visible chains. People think they are free, but they are just operating like gears in a vast machine designed to create profits for the financial controlling class. This starts with the dream of ownership established in your youth. You were taught you had to study hard to get a good job, to eventually buy a house, a car, and stability. But that stability is actually a gold-plated cage. To own a house, most people take a mortgage for 20 to 30 years, paying just enough to service the loan, never enough to be truly free. You think you own the house, but the bank is the true owner? Until the very last day, you pay off the principal. If you lose your job, the house is confiscated in a minute and the dream collapses. The consumerist system then aggressively controls your behavior. Social media, advertising, and the mainstream media push you into a relentless race. Who dresses better? Who checks in at the fanciest resort? Who has the latest iPhone? If all your coworkers travel and check in every summer, and only you stay home, you feel like an outcast. You will eventually spend all the money you have, or worse, all the money you haven't earned yet, just to keep up. You think you are living well, but you are being exploited. You are running a vicious circle designed by those who understand your core weakness, the fear of being left behind. The second weapon, credit and debt, turns you into a self-sacrificing slave. The current financial system is miraculous. It gives you the feeling that you are getting rich, while in fact, you are being pushed into a long-term financial mission. You live not with your real income, but with your future labor, which has been taxed by interest and inflation. The poor save money in the bank and become poorer every year, while the rich buy real assets, real estate, stocks, gold that can increase in value at or above the rate of inflation. This is not just debt, this is legalized, rationalized financial exploitation. Who benefits from this? It's definitely not you, who spends 50 hours a week just to survive. It's the large financial institutions, central banks, and financial groups controlling the global system. They issue credit cards and pump cash, not for your benefit, but to keep the system profitable for them. When you are forced by credit cards, manipulated by consumption, and exploited by inflation, you are no longer a free person. You are a labor unit linked to a credit card number. measured by your consumption habits and your ability to pay the debt. Every mistake, losing your job, illness, or personal crisis will immediately throw you out of the game. If you feel like you are working just to pay debt, please hit the subscribe button. The social manipulation of image. Modern consumerism is not just a spending activity, it is a psychological tool. Just look at social media. You see clips of influencers spending outrageous amounts on lunches and shopping trips. They don't teach you how to earn it, they just engrave in your head. A toxic message: you are not good enough if you don't spend enough. This manipulates your mind with unrealistic expectations and engraves in your heart the fear of losing face, forcing you to race nonstop. This is why so many young professionals are willing to carry high debt just to maintain their image, even though they are poor inside. The cruel rule of assets. The concentration of wealth follows a cruel rule. The poorer you are, the more expensive things you have to buy. When you are rich, you borrow money easily, at a low interest rate to buy appreciating property. When you are poor, you borrow cash at a high interest rate just to consume. When you are poor, you buy smaller, lower quality services at higher prices due to lack of bulk purchasing power. The wealthy use taxes as a tool. The poor pay the highest percentage of taxes through VAT and living expenses, but cannot access the priority economic ecosystem. This is the injustice built into the modern financial system. Money doesn't flow where it's needed. It flows where it's understood. How to escape the loop. The three principles. You can still live well in this world, but only when you realize that the financial system is not about lack of money, but about lack of knowledge about money. You cannot destroy the system, but you can learn how to use it as a platform. Only knowledge, skills, independent thinking, and understanding of the rules can help you from being controlled to becoming a leader. Principle 1, create your own money flow. Your true money flow does not come simply from a salary. It must come from income-producing assets. It can be rental real estate, dividend stocks, or digital skills, writing, online teaching, e-commerce. One income source cannot resist the financial system. You need both active and passive income, so you are no longer afraid of being fired or facing economic fluctuations. Principle 2, understand the law of the controller and reject manipulation. When you sign a loan contract, don't just ask if you qualify. Ask who is getting rich when I sign this paper. Those who follow the law don't buy the latest smartphones. They buy the stock of the companies that make them. They don't borrow money, they lend money. The poor borrow money they don't have to buy things they don't need at high interest. Principle 3, use the tools of the system to protect yourself. When inflation is high, keeping cash is financial suicide. You need to put money into assets that appreciate with inflation. Land, stocks, gold, or a reliable investment fund. Smart people don't run away from inflation. They use it to increase their assets. You don't need to be a millionaire. You just need to get out of the loop and start over. When you control your money, you get out of dependence. When you are not controlled by debt, you can buy back time. And when you have time, you can learn, create, love, and live comfortably the way you choose. No one teaches you this in school. No one reminds you of this on TV, because the system doesn't want you to know. But if you are listening to this, you are no longer a blind man in the dark. The game continues, but now you have the first flag in your hand, and that will be the beginning of your freedom. If this call to action resonated with you, please hit the like button and share this with someone who needs to be awakened today. We reveal the hard truths of survival and success every week. Click the notification bell to stay informed. For more chronicles on financial independence, click on the video. Now showing the capitalist trap for another necessary lesson.